Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Before we get into what to buy and what to avoid this week in Grand Theft Auto Online, consider subscribing to my channel if you guys are new and dropping a like if you enjoy. Dislike if you don't, of course. A lot of you guys watch my videos but don't seem to subscribe, so subscribe. It's free. If you don't like my content, you can always unsubscribe at a later date. We have an excellent week on our hands, guys. This is potentially one of the best weeks of the entire year in GTA. We usually get about 4 of these per year, but the bonuses are pretty insane and the discounts this week are also pretty insane. Starting off with the vehicle sitting here behind me, this is of course the Ocelot Pariah, which is discounted this week by 40% off. We're going to talk about it a little bit more on the websites, but it does have a very good top speed of around 136 miles per hour. So if you are on last gen, it is going to be pretty quick. The customization is pretty nice. And for being rear wheel drive in the sports category, it does handle pretty nicely. Overall, the performance is very good, and it is a pretty good looking car generally, I would say. But anyways, before we get into the discounts further and talk about the Pariah a little bit more, we got to talk about how to make some money this week in Grand Theft Auto Online, and we got some really good ways to do that. First up, we have triple money and triple RP on community jobs that players have created. So triple money and triple RP on Virtual Insanity here for the record, as well as some other things like Bacon Shark and stuff like that. So a lot of good opportunities there if you are trying to level up. If you're a lower level player, that's going to be a really good way to level up because it is triple RP, which is good, and you're going to get paid for it too with triple money. So not too bad. But of course, the real bonus this week, as I'm sure you guys are probably aware by now, is on CEO Cargo. CEO Cargo sales are going to be double money and double RP for the remainder of this week. And if you don't know what that means per large warehouse, you can sell for about $4.4 million and you can own 5 large warehouses, which is crazy to think about. So that is a lot of money right there. That's more than $20 million if you fill them all the way up. Absolutely insane, and they are very soloable businesses as well, so do keep that in mind. Now we also have some more bonuses on CEO Cargo this week as well, just to make things even better. So we also have the export mixed goods missions that you get through your CEO office by visiting the front desk. Those are going to be paying double money and double RP this week as well, so instead of $50,000 for a 2-minute mission, you're going to be getting $100,000 and double RP obviously as well, for a 2-minute mission, which is really good. This is going to pay for all your supplies for, resupplying your CEO Cargo and stuff like that for the day, or for, that 48 minutes until you can do it again. And you can do it every 48 minutes, which is crazy to think about. So a lot of money potential there. Now, another bonus is we have double speed on staff sourcing. So in each of your cargo warehouses, you will have a staff member that you can send out to go and source you stuff. They'll come back with 1 to 3 crates. Usually it's about 1.7 crates on average, but they're going to be coming back twice as fast. It usually takes 48 minutes. This week, it's going to take 24. So CEO Cargo is just huge this week, guys. You got to be doing it. And if you don't have a CEO Cargo warehouse or a CEO office or anything like that, you're actually in luck because we have some pretty good discounts this week as well. On the Dynasty 8 Executive Realty website, you'll be able to go on here and you can find that CEO offices are 30% off this week, including upgrades and modifications. So you can get Maze Bank for 2.8 million instead of 4 million, which is crazy. And it's going to be through here that you're going to get into your CEO Cargo warehouses. And that's how you're going to make a lot of money this week. So really cool. Now I would definitely just advise you to get the office. Do not get the safe. The safe is completely useless. You do not make any passive money with it or anything like that. It is literally purely cosmetic, and don't let anyone in the comments tell you otherwise, because some people are going to try to tell you that the safe actually generates you money. I promise you it does not. These people are confused. They think it's the agency or the nightclub safe, and it is neither. It does absolutely nothing for you. It is purely cosmetic. Do not buy the safe. The only thing that I would actually advise you to do in your CEO office is purchase the accommodation so that you can simply spawn there. It's really overpriced. $556,000 is a lot of money to be able to spawn somewhere, but it is going to come in handy occasionally, so it might be worth it for you, depending on how hard you're going to grind CEO Cargo and things like that. But no matter what, it is nice to spawn there. Of course, if you want to decorate it differently or whatever, you can do that, and that's going to be 30% off as well. So do keep that in mind for sure, but definitely something that's not necessary to do this week. Now, when you're actually in your CEO office and you go onto the computer to purchase some warehouses, you'll also find that large CEO Cargo warehouses are discounted this week by 30% off. And I would definitely recommend only to purchase large CEO cargo warehouses. I personally have my large CEO cargo warehouses in a row, and you can see them right here. This is the top one, then we have another one here, another one here, another one here, and another one here. And so when I go to passively source, because that is the only way that I get cargo, guys, I start at this top one, I fly my buzzard to there, then I fly to the next one, source, fly to the next one, source, fly to the next one, source. You get the picture. Go to all of them and source. And I'm going to be doing that every 24 minutes this week. So it's going to be really, really awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to it. But I would definitely recommend to buy these 5 large CEO cargo warehouses that I've shown you right here. This location's really good. This location's also really good. Both of these are good, and then this one is really good. And as you can see, they're so close together that it only takes maybe a minute, maybe 3 minutes to fly between all of them and source at all of the locations. So definitely, I would recommend that this week for sure, guys. If you have smaller CEO cargo warehouses, I would recommend trading them in and doing my strategy and just getting those 5 that are right in a row right there. I just want to pop in here and say that I do have a full CEO cargo guide that I will link in the description of this video, as well as the other business guides that I do have. So if you're interested in the business itself or how to run it or anything like that, you can click the link in the description and you'll find out all about it. Now, we do have one more money bonus, and it's going to blow CEO cargo out of the water this week, guys. We have double money and double RP on pizza deliveries. So for those of you that are lower levels and you want to make some money, this is actually not a terrible way to do so. Still, I just honestly recommend playing community jobs. I think you're going to get more out of them low-key. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we do have some vehicle discounts this week, starting off with the Benefactor SM722 on Legendary Motorsport. This thing's pretty interesting. It's 40% off for just over 1.25 mil. It's not a terrible price for what you're getting. At the same time, though, this isn't one of the fastest sports cars in the game. It's like top 40, I would say. The customization is really cool, though. It is based off of the Sterling Moss Mercedes like special edition, which is pretty cool. I don't think I can necessarily recommend purchasing it, though, but if you do want to know more about it, I do have a customization review out on my channel. Just look up HarmNone SM722 customization if you're interested. And as I said right at the start of the video, we also have the Ocelot Pariah discounted this week for $852,000, 40% off. Not a bad discount. This is a car that I would absolutely advise you to purchase this week because it is one of the fastest sports cars in the game for last gen. Now, if you're on current gen, it's not going to be that fast, but for $852,000, the performance that you're getting is pretty nuts. So for that reason, I do recommend it. We also have the Gallivant Baller ST discounted this week by 40% off. It's going for $400,000 if you have the trade price and $534,000 if you don't have the trade price. This thing does have some pretty major understeer issues, but it does have some really nice customization, and it is a very classy looking Range Rover vehicle in GTA Online. For those reasons, I would say I recommend it, especially if you have the trade price. For $400K, it's not a bad vehicle, and even for $534, it's still not bad. It is one of the better SUVs in GTA Online in terms of performance overall as well, and in terms of customization, I think it is actually one of the very best. So do with that information what you will. On Warstock Cash and Carry, we have the Benefactor Turreted Limo discounted this week by 40% off. This is a vehicle that is exclusive to being Pegasus, but you can also spawn it through your CEO menu as well, which does give it a little bit more utility, but for $990,000, this thing is low-key kind of a super big waste of money. The armor is not that good on it. The bulletproof windows are not that good on it. They will get shot out after probably 15-20 shots, something like that. And the minigun does leave the gunner extremely exposed. For $990,000, I just simply cannot recommend it. On Southern San Andreas Super Autos, we have the Pagasi Pizza Boy discounted this week by 30% off. So if you guys are interested in getting one of these to speed up your pizza delivery, you can get it for 30% off. So honestly, not a bad time to buy this thing if you are interested in it in the first place. For $100,000 or $136,000, you kind of can't go wrong if it speeds up your pizza deliveries. And if you can do those pizza deliveries, this week, you can definitely make your money back, especially since it's on double money and double RP. We also have the Albany Cavalcade XL discounted this week by 40% off for $999,000. This thing to me is not special enough to warrant the price tag that it costs. I don't really think it's that awesome of a vehicle. The customization was pretty disappointing, to be honest, and it's not really one of the best SUVs in the game anyways, despite having one of the sort of best SUV price tags. It's really overpriced. It's not that good. It is pretty cool looking, but beyond that, it's pretty useless, guys. I would avoid this one this week for sure. However, something that I would not avoid is the Karen Kuruma Armored, which is discounted by 40% off this week. You can't go wrong with an Armored Kuruma, guys. For $315,000 for the trade price, and I would assume right around $500K for the non-trade price, you can't go wrong. Please buy an Armored Kuruma this week if you do not have one already. This thing is one of the very best vehicles in the game for taking on NPCs. Very hard to get shot out of it. Unfortunately, no explosive resistance to the vehicle, but the bullet resistance is second to none. You gotta buy one of these this week while it's discounted, guys. You will not regret it, I promise you that. I should also mention that if you do sell $300,000 worth of special cargo this week, you will get a $100,000 bonus. So that is something to keep in mind for sure. Anyway, guys, let's head to the dealerships, the casino, the car meet, talk about the vehicles that are available this week at the dealerships, and then we'll move on. Within the casino, we have the Declasse Impaler SZ available to be won this week. This isn't one that I would honestly really recommend trying to win. I just don't think it's that phenomenal of a vehicle for coming to the casino every day to try to win it. But if you do want it, it is available. So yeah, do with that information what you will. Within the LS car meet, we have the Nagasaki Outlaw available to be won this week. And in order to win it, you're going to have to place top 5 for 3 days in a row. Relatively easy challenge for such a kind of cool vehicle. It is pretty good off-road. It looks nice. The customization's like okay. There's not a whole lot you can do to it, but there are a few little things here and there. Overall, I would say it's worth it to try to win it just because the challenge is pretty easy. Within the LS car meet, we also have 3 removed vehicles available to be purchased this week, starting off on the left with the Coil Voltic. This thing goes for $150,000, which is not a bad price. This is one that I would say I do recommend, mostly because it's removed, but the performance is also pretty good. In the middle, we have the Overflawed Entity XF. The OG Overflawed Entity that's been in the game forever until Rockstar removed it. This thing goes for $795,000. For that price, getting a removed entity that's a really cool car, I think it's worth it personally, but realistically, performance-wise, this thing is going to get gapped by a lot of other vehicles, like the Zentorno, for example, which is cheaper than it. So it's really going to have to be something that you actually just really want, not necessarily for performance at all, but just because you want to own it. But it is available this week, which is cool. And again, of course, we have the Enos Paragon R. This thing is a pretty awesome vehicle. It goes for $905,000 if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I am correct. It's got some really insane customization and the performance is pretty great. It is within the sports category and I'd say it's within the top 20 fastest cars. It's all-wheel drive. It does get a pretty good launch. The performance is generally good and the customization's awesome. This is one that I would recommend this week for sure, mostly because it is removed though. Within Simeon's, starting off in the corner with the Enos Stafford. This thing is discounted this week by 40% off, which means it is going for $786,000. Not a terrible price for what you're getting, except it kind of is because well, I mean, not that you're expecting the performance to be awesome, but yeah, you have to, again, really like this car to be able to justify purchasing it. If you're looking for, something that's fast or kind of nice, I wouldn't necessarily go with the Stafford. There's definitely better options for you this week. But if you're looking for a Stafford, it is available and it is discounted this week within Simeon's. So that is pretty good, I guess. Next up, we have the Declasse Tulip. This is another removed vehicle and it is going for $739,000 this week. Pretty cool vehicle. It does have advanced handling flags, which means the handling's not going to be awesome on it, but it is still a pretty cool car. It has some really nice customization. It's one that I can't necessarily recommend or not really recommend. It's just kind of average for the money. It's maybe even a little bit below average, but if you like it, again, don't let me stop you from buying it. It is still a really cool car. I do own one. I just don't drive it that often because it's not that remarkable in any particular way. Still cool vehicle. Of course, we also have the Pegassi Infernus, which is another removed one for $440,000. This thing is, well, I mean, honestly, there's not much you can do to it. The only customization option it has is for the wing and for the exhaust on the rear of it. Beyond that, nothing else can really be changed other than like wheels and color. For 440 grand, you kind of can go wrong with it, but it is removed at the same time. So if you're looking for one, it's probably worth it to buy it now. But if you're not looking for one, I would say you can probably skip this one. I would definitely buy a Pariah before I'd buy this or any of these other cars for that matter. And of course, we also have the JB700. This thing goes for $350, I do believe it is. Yeah, $350,000. For that price, honestly, it's so little in GTA now that it doesn't really matter. But there is an actual weaponized version of this available on Warstock for like 1.5 mil. So if you want the weapons, you're going to have to buy that one. This thing has no weapon systems. It is purely cosmetic. These guns on it are purely cosmetic. So do keep that in mind for sure. For $350, not a terrible vehicle. Last but not least, in here we have the Dubachi Exemplar. The Dubachi Exemplar goes for $205,000. Yes, it does. It is a 4-door version of the Rapid GT. It's pretty fast for a 4-door. Beyond that, no customization or anything special really. So keep that in mind for sure. Again, can't really recommend it, can't really not recommend it. 205 grand, pretty cheap. The performance you're getting, I would say, is worth it. I don't know if it's something that I would recommend you to purchase though. It really depends on what you're looking for. Luxury Autos is actually pretty good this week because it's not just cars from the newest DLC, it's cars from the second newest DLC. On the left we have the Declasse Vigoro ZX convertible, and on the right we have the Gallivanter Baller STD, both of which are available on the website. So again, don't really know why they're here, but at least it's not just cars from the latest DLC, it's, you know, one DLC ago. So I guess that's good. Within the Chop Shop this week, guys, these are the vehicles that are available to be stolen. The S80RR, you're going to need to complete the Duggan robbery to get it. For the Obey Omni, you will need to complete the McToney robbery. And of course, for the Vapid Caracara 4x4, you will need to complete the Gangbanger robbery. And unfortunately, none of them are claimable this week. Last but not least, we have your time trials. Your RC Bandito time trial is construction site 1. Your Junk Energy time trial is, of course, sewer system. Your regular time trial is going to be Mount Gordeau, and your HSW time trial is, of course, Ron Alternates, which starts right around here and ends down at the very bottom of Elysian Island. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching what to buy and what to avoid this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. If you guys enjoyed the video, a like is, of course, appreciated, if not dislike. Consider subscribing to my channel if you guys are new. A lot of you guys watch these videos but don't seem to subscribe for some reason. I make a lot of kind of cool, interesting content, and I would definitely recommend you to check it out. But if nothing more, subscribe. It's free. You can always unsubscribe at a later date if you decide you don't like what I'm doing. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care. Peace.